Hey guys, it's Joni and John with Healthy Living in the Villages. And we thought we would talk to you today about a really important part of this community. There are so many volunteer opportunities, and I love that.
There's a lot of volunteer opportunities. We're going to hit on two.
Yeah, two ones that we've already been involved in, but again, there's just so many things that you can do here. So let's dive right in. We were going to start with the Honor Flight. And it's an amazing organization. If you haven't heard of Honor Flight, it's actually, they have chapters all around the country, but the Villages, from what I've researched, is the largest of the Honor Flight communities. So I think that's really exciting.
There are veterans here in the Villages than any other place in the country that's not a military base, which the number is above 18,000.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. And that's a good point. If you're going to come to visit the Villages during one of the patriotic holidays is a great time to be here because you really see all the flags everywhere and it's just really stunning. I think that's absolutely beautiful. So Honor Flight, if you've not heard of the organization, which I hadn't before we moved here, this organization is a nonprofit that provides senior veterans with the opportunity to go visit Washington, D.C. and see all the monuments that are there in celebration of the service that they gave to the country. So
Many of these veterans have never had the chance to go to Washington.
yeah,
And I always say, a little bit jokingly, is if you ever want to go visit your tax dollars, you ought to go to Washington because there's a lot of them there. A lot of your tax dollars are there. With monuments and things. So it's a great experience for them.
yeah, that's a great point. So they provide this free of charge to the veterans. And here in the Villages, I don't know if this is with all the honor flights, but a really neat thing is the welcome home. So when these veterans come back from that trip, the Villages has a huge welcome home party with music and fanfare. And it's making me emotional just thinking about it because it's really nice to see these veterans getting all of those accolades from everybody. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get involved. So far, all I've been doing is the mail call, but I'm absolutely loving doing mail call. So the mail call, when the veteran gets on the flight, each veteran gets a packet, just like they used to when they were serving, letters from home. So this is something that the veterans aren't told about in advance, but we contact all their family and friends and ask them to send letters and cards, and we even get cards from school children and such, and make it into this envelope to give them. And when they get on the plane on the trip, they're given this surprise mail call. So that's one way to get involved. So we've been making the phone calls for that, and then also mail call going and stuffing all the envelopes and getting everything together. But you can also, I want to eventually be a guardian, and that's the person that travels with the veteran. So a lot of questions we get from the veterans' families is this safe? Because a lot of these veterans will be up there in age. So we have nurses that travel with them. So medically, they have somebody there, and the guardian is there to make sure they're safe. So whether they need a wheelchair, a walker, whatever, the guardian's going to help. So really great way to give back and to feel part of the community. So highly recommend that. And if you're here in the Villages during one of the homecomings, it's a great event to go to. So keep an eye out, and we'll put the website for the honor flight, so you can keep an eye on that when you're here in town, or if you just want to get involved with volunteering. So really love that one a lot. That one's dear to my heart, and really
Both our fathers were in the service.
yeah. So
My dad was in the Army and her dad was a Marine.
Right. So we've got two covered, and then we have a daughter that was in the Navy and a son-in-law that was Marines too, right? Anthony was Marines. So we're covering a few of the services there. So the best part with the honor flight is you can get involved in the experience, and I love that. So you can get involved by being a guardian, or if you have medical background, being one of the medical staff that go along on these flights. So truly, truly a worth it experience when you're here in the Villages. And then the other program that you and I just went through not too long ago was CERT.
CERT,
And what does that stand for?
Community Emergency Response Team.
Yes. Look how legit that sounds.
Yeah,
I love it.
I read that well.
I appreciate you. And CERT is, again, it's an organization that is around the country. I'd never heard of it before. But here in the villages, it's a little different, which I like. So here in the villages, once you get certified through CERT, so what we did was a little different, and we'll explain that in a second. But once you are certified with CERT, you also then do community hours with them. So that might mean you're working one of the booths in the square for emergency response, going out in the community and doing training, which is what we went through. So you do a lot with CERT here in the villages, which is a little bit different than other places in the country. So I think that's wonderful. So what we did was we got CPR and AED training through CERT.
And Heimlich.
Yes, and the Heimlich maneuver. That does not mean CPR certified. Let me just clarify that. But you are CPR trained. And I'm going to say I liked that a lot better because I've been CPR trained because I am a fitness instructor. I always got nervous. I'm the type of person that when it comes to a test, I freeze. I totally freeze. I can know the information forward and backward. As soon as you say the word test, it seems to leave. So I truly enjoyed this training because I knew I wasn't going to be tested like that. And I really enjoyed it. I felt like I learned a lot. It's not only learning, but it's also practical. So we got a lot of practice, which was lovely. And I felt really good I felt better at the end of that than I did through all the years that I did CPR. So highly recommend this. And this is available to everybody that lives in the villages, and it's free. And it's
an amazing program because let's say you have an event, or say your neighbor has an event, and there she's laying in the driveway and her heart has stopped. You call 911. 911 sends out a text to the people in the neighborhood that have been certified to run one of these AEDs.
right.
So now the paramedics are on their way, but one of your neighbors who's been certified and that lives closer is going to get there first and can implement the AED.
Right. Which is fascinating,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, and this program has worked so well that the average fatalities in the villages are 23%. So 23% of people that where they have to use an AED, 23% of those people survive. And the national average is 10%.
Wow.
10%. So we're doubling.
Yeah.
So you have twice as good of a chance of survival here in the villages because of this program. So it's amazing.
It is, right? It's so exciting. And we were thrilled to go through it because when I go for bike rides, I see all these AEDs. They're in most communities here. They're all over, in all the public spaces too. But I've seen that when I'm riding my bike, and I would go by and I'd be like, So if there was an event, I would ride my bike. How do I get it out? What do I do? Like, I was always curious about that. Now we've learned it's a trained person through this program that can get into these boxes that are around the neighborhood. And like John said, that text goes out. So who's ever closest will go and get that and bring it to the house that's needing it. So I thought that was amazing. And I'm so grateful for that. And we got to learn how to use it and practice with it and all of that. So felt really comfortable because we do have our own. So if there's an emergency nearby, you guys can all contact us too.
No, don't do that. No, absolutely not. Go with the program.
Go with the program. Because
don't call John and Joni because who knows what we're doing. That's not a good way.
Okay.
That's not a good way to save somebody's life.
So maybe we're going to go through the program, get certified, and eventually we will be the people that are coming out to your house to help. How's that? Do you feel better?
Well, yeah, that's a lot better because if it's been an evening and we've had a couple cocktails, you don't want old loopy John and Joni showing up and with our hey, we got our own. Don't worry about it.
But it's such an important part, I think, of a community to have all these volunteer opportunities. It not only connects you with your community, but you feel like you're doing good. You're giving back to your community. And that is one of the things that I think is so special here. And I'm so grateful for that. So if you already live here in the Villages, you can look up the CERT program. We'll put the website down in the notes. And that is something free. So you can just sign up to go to one of those trainings. I think it was like a two or 3 hour training that we went to. I'm trying to remember how long it was.
It's something like about 3 hours.
Yeah, but it was very enjoyable. They did a lot of practical. So by the end, you felt really good. You feel like you really learned it and you know how to use it. And they've got great equipment. I was like super impressed with their dummies that they use. They had all the electronic dummies that, when you're practicing your CPR, it's lighting up, it's telling you if you're doing it right. So I think that's why I left there feeling really good about it, because if I was going too light or too heavy, it's giving you all those instructions. So
oh, and by the way, when we say that the link is in the notes, it's in the description. The description of this class. If you click in the description, the link will be in there.
All right, thank you. That's good. I used the wrong word.
No, the other day I was on one and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. It wasn't ours, it was somebody else.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
it took me a little while to figure it out.
Yeah, gotcha. It's in the description of what this video is about. You'll see the links there. And if you can't find it, just send a quick comment. We'll respond right away and get it to you. But if you're looking for ways to give back, highly recommend these two programs. You're giving back to your community, and the Villages is such an amazing community. I think it feels good to do things that help other people here. So again, there's a lot of others, but we really enjoy these two. And we really love you guys being part of the channel. Love your comments. So please subscribe, like, and share. We appreciate you, and we hope to see you around the Villages.
See you around.
Bye.
Bye.